What up, y'all? I'm back with another review, and I'm here to review the newest studio album from Death Grips entitled Year of the Snitch. This is Death Grips' sixth studio album, the first project I ever reviewed from them, and actually ever listened to from them was in 2016, Bottomless Pit. So that was just over 2 years ago. And I remember really enjoying that record. I still go back to that record actually. I want to get that on vinyl, I'm not gonna lie to you. And of course, they have their previous releases, like, of course, The Money Store, which is the first album, which seems to be the most critically acclaimed album, actually. I need to go back, I need to listen to No Love, Deep Web, Government Plates, and The Powers That Be as well, though. I've seen Ex Military. That was a mixtape in 2011. That was the first, I guess that was their first project then, right? Or was Death Grips um, the EP? Was that the first one? Not sure. Okay, so it looks like Death Grips, the EP. Okay, it looks like that was the first project they ever put out, at least as far as known projects. Well, more well-known projects at least. Death Grips is they are a three-man band from what I understand. I know MC Rod, of course. I know, and I know Zach Hill. Now, as far as this dude Andy Morin, I'm not too familiar. When I first started listening to Death Grips, I actually thought it was just MC Ride and the producer Zach Hill. That's as much as I had known about Death Grips. And I know that everybody who seemed to like the experimental, I don't even know if I'd say alternative, but experimental kind of rap rocky industrial sound would they fuck with Death Grips. In a sense, I guess you could say if you liked Yeezus, you'd like Death Grips, but that doesn't seem to be the case. I know people who I've seen people who love Death Grips and they get into Yeezus, but as far as people who really love the album Yeezus, they I don't even know if they know who Death Grips is, which is weird. You'd think if you like Yeezus, you'd be into Death Grips, but you never know. Um, but still, sixth studio album, only 37 minutes long, like 12 or 13 tracks. 13 tracks, okay. Because there was the outro track, and then there was the 13th track, which isn't even listed as a bonus track, but it's titled Disappointed. Um, let's go ahead and get right into this album. The first track is Death Grips Online, which I wanted it to set the tone what this album is going to be. I guess it kind of set the tone, but not too many other tracks lived up to this track for me. I mean, it just started off sounding like something that you would hear, like just the whole. Then it goes. I was like, this kind of sounded something off of Bottomless Pit. But more that whole sounds like some shit that I would like you'd hear like a tanning salon or like some gym cardio music like that shit. It's actually really fun to dance to. I'm not gonna lie. And I'm guessing this is like the song that is played when the Grips gets online. Yeah. I mean, hell, like Death Grips is that kind of band. Like they're that kind of trio where it's like they don't have a Twitter. Well, they do, but it's not verified. As far as social medias and all this other stuff, they don't have any of that. People just know them. They follow Death Grips. You just know when they're gonna drop something. They make it known without having too much production from like a label, I believe. Like so, to have a song like Death Grips is online, it's like what does that mean exactly? Like Death Grips like they just got online. Death Grips is online. Like they just got on Xbox Live or on PlayStation Network, or they just logged into their computer. Yeah, Death Grips is online. Like Death Grips has arrived. Like that. This is such a Death Grips thing to do to name a title of a track and just to sound like this. Track number two, Flies. The occasional scratches here, I like them, and occasional scratches throughout a few of the tracks on this album. Abstract beat and vocals here, and a little subtle synth drop outro that I really mess with. Actually, it's probably my favorite part about this track. Track number three, Black Paint. I love the groove that's in this beat. Like certain parts of this track remind me of off of Bottomless Pit. Track number 4, ha ha ha. That was a cool track. Well, it wasn't track number 4. It was track number 6. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha, bitch. That's what I got from this track. um, I go back to some tracks on here because listening to this, I listened to it in its regular track listing, then I listened to it backwards because I really wanted to like this track more than I did. This album more than I did. I like this album. But we're gonna get into just how I feel about it at the end, of course, after talking about more tracks. Next track I want to talk about is the 8th track, Streaky. Again, parts of this reminds me of from Bottomless Pit, and uh, the best thing about this shit is don't throw it on the gram. Yeah, that freaking freaking ride is so ridiculous. Oh my goodness. Track number 9, Dilemma. I have to say, this is so beautiful. Like then it's like this sound like it's like they did soul, like it's like they did not jazz, but it's like they did funk soul, like 70s soul, like with horns and stuff. It's like they did like a sound, not that sound, but a rhythm like that, and they just used that rhythm, but they did it on a different instrument. That's what that sounds like to me. That this could have easily been some horns, like, but they used a different instrument, and they pulled it off really nicely. And then it gets kind of wild, and it gets kind of wild after it's very calm, like like, but it's so Death Grips, honestly. The next track, which is the 4th track, Linda's in Custody. I fuck with this track more like when the bridge transitions from the abstract keys and synth um abstract keys to a synth and like atmospheric background sequences. So yeah, I like this track. The next 2 tracks, at least, I want to talk about is the horn section and Shit Show. They're both 2 little minute and a half tracks. I prefer Shit Show because there's just more of a rush on that track, honestly. Horn section was more um it was more like sequences that not even distorted, but just keep going and no real horns. So I was kind of disappointed. But yeah, and the last track I want to talk about. Actually, no, I do want to talk about another track actually, but after this track, Little Richard. It was cool. I mean, I kept listening to it. The more I listened to it, I liked it, but it doesn't blow me away or anything. But Little Richard, Little Richard. Um, let's see what else. I do want to talk about this track. Disappointed. Fear. The fear was okay. It was kind of like Little Richard in the sense that it was just there for me, honestly. Outro was just the outro. Heck, like reminded me of the horn section actually. And the last track, Disappointed. See, when I heard that, I automatically thought, like, why is the last track? You think the last track would be outro, but no, last track is Disappointed, and it's not even listed as a bonus track. After a track that's titled outro. So I see that it's titled Disappointed, and I'm like, why are they saying that? Are they saying it because like, um, are they saying, is it titled Disappointed because they feel people are going to be disappointed with the album? Not that people don't like the album, but they just left a little underwhelmed, a little disappointed because they've gotten so much from Death Grips that this is still a good album, but it doesn't live up to the hype that they had coming into it. Like, dealing with this new sound, which there are some new sounds on here. Like Death Grips is online, and Dilemma, like I'm not gonna say black paint. I'm not really gonna say black paint. I could hear Death Grips doing something like that, but Death Grips is online and Dilemma. Like those are some new sounds, which I actually mess with those new sounds. So the new sounds that they do have like that, I do mess with. But then the other tracks like Little Richard, The Fear, um, um, the horn section, and the shit shows like not really messing with it. So I wonder if they did disappointed because they're like, yeah, God, people fans are gonna be disappointed with the album. Um, I don't know how if they mean like they'll be disappointed, like they don't think it's good, or they just don't think it's up to par. Honestly, I'm a little disappointed with this album. I'm a little underwhelmed because I wanted to like this album so much. So I don't even know if it's me being disappointed in Death Grips or me being disappointed in me for not liking this because I really want to like this. Like it's freaking Death Grips. I'd much rather listen to Bottomless Pit though, like easily. Um, like I've heard people say Bottomless Pit was just a um, collection of sounds from all their previous projects on one album. Um, so if they did that just to escape those sounds and go on to something new, that's cool. I'll stick with Death Grips because it's freaking Death Grips. I mean, it's Zach Hill on production. It's MC Rod on the mic. So I'll stick with Death Grips. But I am a little underwhelmed. I guess you could say I am a little disappointed, but I'm not disappointed like this is a bad album. I'm disappointed because I wanted more out of this album than I got. I'm disappointed because just the hype that I was giving myself coming into this because coming off a Bottomless Pit, I was like, they're about to blow me away again. They didn't really, but still, I like this album. I'd give it a 6.5 to a 7 out of 10. I think it's still good. Um, it's not so industrial. It's still experimental and a bit alternative hip hop. So yeah. If you've heard this album, go ahead and let me know what you think about it in the comment section below and what you think about my review on it. If you haven't heard this album, I still recommend that you check it out. Maybe you'll get it, especially if you're more into Death Grips than I am. I mean, I'm into Death Grips, but if you're more into Death Grips than me or want something new, um, and you're like new to Death Grips, I'd recommend that you check this out. Still, you might fuck with it. I recommend the older work though to get into Death Grips. But you might get into this. You might get into Death Grips through this, and then get into everything else. You never know. Um, but yeah, if you like alternative hip hop, but not alternative hip hop like a Milo or Open Mike Eagle, but still, just the alternative of like mainstream hip hop, a little experimental, not so industrial like they're known for. Go ahead and check this out. Be sure to hit the like button if you like this review. Share the review. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and you like the content that you see. Please check the description below so you can see all my social medias if you want to connect with me on there. And everything else that I have down there as a link for you to connect or support me with through. And that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time.